Alright guys, here we go. First episode of my podcast. I'm really excited. I got a guest today that's a real good friend of mine. That's my first guest and also a real estate rock star. The point of this podcast is really simple. I'm just going to have real people tell real stories to hopefully inspire you or help you through the journey, whether you are a business owner already or if you want to become a business owner. So hope you guys enjoy it. Please let me know what you think, and let's get started. I got a special guest here today, a real estate powerhouse and good friend of mine, Naeem Boucher. Why don't you just introduce yourself and then tell us what you do and who you are.
What's going on, guys? So my name is Naeem Boucher. I was born and raised in Paterson, New Jersey. I grew up with diversity. My mom was a single mom. She was raising 5 kids, but through all the adversity, I just overcame. I always felt like I was the underdog, I stumbled across real estate and I fell in love with it, and I'm passionate about it, and now I'm just trying to be the best. And now I'm one of the top realtors in New Jersey. My team is one of the fastest growing teams in New Jersey, up to 35 agents now. And
wow.
Yeah, man, we're just growing, man. We're just growing, trying to keep it going.
So, what did you do right before you did real estate?
So, before real estate, I was coaching soccer.
Coaching soccer
For the New York Rebels, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, man, I actually played for I don't know if I even told you. I know you for a while, and I don't know if I ever told you. I actually used to play for the Red Bulls.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
It was like a job. I felt like that was even harder than the job I have now. But it was a great experience, man. I feel like they're really especially the coaches. You know, the coaches they get, I don't know how they go. How was the process to even get that job for you?
So, but before that, I was working as a bank teller, and then someone told me about hey, they're hiring coaches for the New York Rebels. I'm like, oh, cool.
Sure.
Let me check it out. So I just applied for it, and then when I went there, I didn't know anything about coaching.
Right.
So, but what they did was they had all the people who were there for the job coach the coaches, so we would play.
Yeah,
right. So some of them were older, some of them were younger, and I was just fresh out of college. So I played soccer in college, so I just literally just tore everybody up. So they knew I was a player, they knew I wasn't a coach.
Right.
So I was coachable, and then they hired me.
So that wasn't a plan for you to become a coach. It was just it just happened.
It wasn't the plan at all.
Okay,
I wanted to go pro, but I wasn't good enough, and then the opportunity came to coach for a professional organization, so that was the next best thing, I thought at the time.
Right, and how did you transition from soccer coach to when was that turning point where you're I want to do real estate?
So after college, I got the job coaching soccer. I thought I was making decent money. I was probably making a little bit more than $30,000, and I was irresponsible with my money. So I would blow it on nonsense, liability.
How old were you around at this time?
At that time, I want to say about 21.
21.
Fresh out of college, I was 21, 22.
Okay, you were young.
So then I just started being very irresponsible with my money. And then I found myself living paycheck to paycheck. Once my mom ended up losing her job, I had to get my own apartment. I had credit card debt. And I'm like, yo, what the hell? And then I stumbled across a podcast with Jim Rohn, and then he just started talking about you don't read books. How you going to change your life? World's best kept secrets are in books. And then he said one book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And then I read that book, and then I learned the difference between asset and liability.
Okay.
I learned wealthy people buy assets, poor people buy liabilities. So I realized I was poor. I was buying liabilities. So then once I learned what kind of asset, what's this guy talking about, he said real estate. And that's when the light bulb went off, and I just said, all right, I got to learn everything there is to know about real estate. And then I just, went for it.
And the first step to that, obviously was just becoming a realtor, right? Is that the first step you took, or?
Yeah. So that was the first step that I took, but before that, my goal was just to buy my first house.
To buy a house, like an investment property.
Yeah, my investment property. Okay. So I sold everything. I went to go live in an attic. I was driving a hoopty, and then I was coaching soccer. I was substitute teaching. I was working at a sneaker store just to buy my first house.
Okay.
So I was working hard to try and invest. But then I learned, okay, what if I just learn how to make more money? And realtors, you earn a commission, and then get good at it. So that was the plan behind that.
Okay. So it was kind of like a process. So at 21, you figured that out. When did you actually become a realtor?
So I became a realtor, I want to say by the age of 22.
22. Okay, so it was quick. It was quick.
Wait. I became a realtor at like 23 actually. 23. Like 23, 24 because I bought my first house at 25 and I represented myself as a realtor.
Okay. 25. Mm-hmm. How old are you now?
Now I'm 30.
30. Okay. So it's been quite. 5 years. That's Mm-hmm. How has it been for you?
Owning property?
Just like the real estate. You're still a realtor, right? And you own you own property as well, right? So, how is even balancing that? Like being a realtor, and you're an investor and a realtor, because a lot of realtors aren't necessarily investors.
Correct.
So how does it feel like now, like 5 years, looking back at it, like?
Man, 5 years looking back at it, it's been the best decision I've ever made, man. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but it was the best thing I've ever done in my life, man. Just from being an investor, properties that I bought, back then have now appreciated in value.
Right.
I bought one property for $170,000. That's worth about $350,000. I bought another
5 years ago, man. 5 years ago.
Like the prices were.
Can't even imagine.
So I'm sitting on equity.
Right.
On top of that, the property's been cash flowing, and then from being a realtor, I just learned how to become a better realtor, and now I created a very good business, and so the momentum's there, man. I'm just gonna keep on just building into it.
Which side do you like more, being a realtor or being an investor now?
It's hard to say. I love both, man. I love both. It's like I wanted, as a realtor, I'm helping a lot of people, right? I'm literally making a massive impact within the community, and at the same time, my income has gone up because my value has gone up, right? But now with that extra income, I'm able to take that income and invest it back into real estate. So it's like,
which one makes you more money?
Which one makes me more money? For right now, I would say the real estate business. As a realtor.
As a realtor?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's probably a little hard to calculate.
Yeah.
How much you're making as an investor because you got to calculate your equity, your cash flow. Your cash flowing. How much you have. It's probably harder. So yeah. As far as money coming in, probably the realtor, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. If, let's say, being a realtor wasn't an option, what would you, you were going back 5 years? Is there something else that you ever wanted to pursue if real estate agent or realtor was just not an option?
Man, if that wasn't an option, I would have been a cop by right now.
Yeah?
I would have been a cop or still coaching.
I think you chose the right one. So a cop, that was kind of like the other option for you even back then?
It wasn't an option, because I went to college, I wanted to go pro. My degree was in sociology, minor criminology.
Oh, okay. So it could have been an option.
Yeah, it could have been. Brother, I was literally in the process of becoming a state trooper.
Okay.
And they gave me the packet, I passed.
Yeah.
So literally they were doing the background on me. And then I shredded the packet once I decided to go full-time as a realtor and quit being a soccer. I was like, because I was driving, nothing against cops. I had nothing, like some of my best friends are cops. I had nothing against them. Yeah. But one day I was driving and it was the winter and I saw a cop outside directing traffic and because I had to stop or something. And I said to myself, do I want to do this for the rest of my life? And I said no.
And you thought that at what, 23?
I was at about 23, yeah.
That's good, man. I know a lot of...
At that though, when I went full-time, that was at 27.
Okay. So from 23 to 27, you were doing, you were a realtor and you were doing still something else?
Yeah, I was a part-time realtor.
Right.
I was coaching soccer.
Oh, you were still coaching soccer?
Yeah. I was coaching soccer. I was a part-time realtor. I was substitute teaching.
Okay.
And I was also in the process of becoming a cop.
So you coached for a while?
Yeah, I coached for about 5 years.
Oh, for the Rebels?
For the Rebels, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And then at 27, you said, was it like, you were just getting more business and then you decided, okay, that's it? Or you're just like, I'm going to be committed because, I know this is going to, this is my future type of thing?
So, a little bit of both. I didn't have that as many clients as I have now, but I found myself on the soccer field, clients would text me or call me and I couldn't really get the service that I wanted to. And then my lender, he told me hey, listen, you're working so hard to buy these properties where you're going to cash flow, $1,000 a month when you can learn how to grow and scale your business and $10,000 a month, $20,000, and then with that money, you invest that back into the business. But that's why I said, okay, I'm just gonna quit. So I gave up the soccer. Luckily, at the time, I already had 2 houses that were cash flowing.
Okay.
So that was extra income, but I didn't want to look at that because I wanted to have that set to the side to continue to reinvest. But yeah, man, I had to go all in.
Okay. So now you're a realtor. 5 years later, I mean, everybody knows you. I know like I follow you on Instagram. I know you. Even when we were playing soccer, I remember you used to score a goal and used to be like, if anybody wants to buy a house, call me. And I'm like, who is this guy, man? But is there something that like people don't know about you, like that you want people to know? Like, is there like another side of you, like other than this like realtor that just always buying, trying to buy property and trying to sell everybody houses? Like, is there something else that you would like people to know about you?
I would say, yeah. Like everyone who sees me now, right? They're probably like, this guy's confident.
Right.
This guy's like this guy's like confident.
Right. It's that energy.
It's the energy. But I guess what a lot of people don't know is that underneath all that is just a kid from Patterson who literally was not confident all his life. Was afraid, felt weak, felt like was never good enough. This was throughout my entire life. So with that, like I got a soft spot for people in general. People will probably think that I can't talk to this guy or whatever, but man, like I come from the bottom. Like I've been low and I had to become this person before I was even that person.
Right.
But I'm still that guy who deep down like I remember all that. I'm still that kid. It's
like you got that chip on your shoulder, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people sometimes think that's a bad thing. I don't know. To me, even personally for me, like it's a good thing. Like I used to kind of be ashamed of that. Like, well, I got a chip on my shoulder. Oh, why are you working so hard? People try to make you feel bad about sometimes what you're doing because all they see is like social media, like you said, the energy. Like me watching you play soccer and just scream. You used to scream like real estate, and it's like that's what I saw even from you. And it's kind of like a natural thing that you can't help it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like as humans, like, but for me, it's like that chip on your shoulder. Like now, it's like I'm proud of it. Like I want to help people. I mean, that's the chip on my shoulder. I'm an immigrant. In my case, like I have all that. I didn't have anything growing up, so I feel like it's it's a great thing. And that's kind of even part of the why I wanted to start the podcast, for people to to really know like like the success and everything that's going on because of the business, but also the behind the scenes and who you are as a person, why you became that person. So I'm glad you're even talking about that, because some people are kind of scared to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Like they just want to keep it like superficial.
Yeah.
They just want to show the money, the cars. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it comes with it, right? Mm-hmm. But also the point of these conversations is to show more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess my next question, just to even go off of that, what's like, I know, I mean, as a business owner myself, I don't want to ask you if there was a time that you wanted to quit, because I feel like everybody has that time.
Of course.
But do you remember, like, is there a time that really sticks out that you're like, man, I don't know if I could do this no more? But specifically to real estate now, like from the last 5 years, was there a specific time that stands out that's like, oh man, like I don't know if I could do this anymore?
There's a couple of times.
There's a few times.
There's a couple of times, man. Like I like, as far as in the real estate business in general, I remember there was a time when I was just hustling, man, grinding, meaning like coaching soccer, trying to figure out this real estate business, living in the attic, driving the hoop, and I wasn't bothering anybody. I was just working, man, grinding, saving pennies.
Right.
Like, so literally, I remember I was so excited to save up my first $9,000. And I remember there was a time where I went back to Patterson and then someone broke into my car. And I think at that time I lost the majority of my money. That's a whole different story. Yeah. So I'm like back focusing on like getting my money back. So then someone broke into my car and then my sister saw me on the porch just crying, man, crying my eyes out like cause I was at my lowest.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even think I had the money to pay for it, to get the window fixed. I didn't have the energy. I'm like, yo, why would anyone try to rob me, steal from me when I got nothing?
Yeah,
you know, and like, brother, thinking about it right now, bring tears to my eyes. So right then I wanted to quit and just like literally just, I don't know, just give up. You know, and then I did it and I stuck with it. Then going in, I guess, into my more successful years as a realtor,
Right.
Or what people would think is successful, but all the money that I would make, I would just invest it.
You just invested.
Back into the business, right? Back to the business, and there came a point where it even felt like it was paycheck to paycheck. You know, and it was like, damn, like I'm making the money, but I'm investing. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, because you're trying to get over this. You're just trying to keep feeding the business. It's just. I remember those days. You know, like people would, even family. I remember like family would they were asking for stuff. Hey, can you help me with this? Or even friends, like they would want to go out here or do this. Or like people will want stuff from me.
Yeah.
And I'm just remember I'm just investing back to my business. Like
Right.
this point where I don't even got no goddamn money to my nigga because I invested it all. And then family will even say, people will even say to me, oh, ask Naeem, he got all the money. You know, I remember time like this, and it's just like, yo, like.
That's exactly right, man. I feel like there's a lot of people, like, from the outside, it just looks like, you know, you're making all this money, which you could be, you know. But what people don't understand is that when you're in the business and you're actually passionate about it, like, all you're thinking about is whatever money I'm getting, I'm just going to dump it back in to create, it's kind of like a snowball effect,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Like, the more you put into the business, the more you're just going to get out of it. And then, you know, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, you have this massive business that, you know, depending on the goal that you have, like, you know, you could be helping more people, you know what I mean? Like, just the magnitude of what you're doing is just bigger. I mean, more money, more problems too, but it's not just about, you know, like a lot of people just think it's about the money in your pockets, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you got a business, it's a lot of money in your pockets, when like what you're trying to do is just keep growing the business, you know, putting it back in. But yeah, no, man, I think that's real interesting. I mean, I asked you about the lowest point, but what's like the highest point where you're like, you know what, like I'm on top of the world, like, or do you even have a time where it was like that, or?
I would say all of 2021.
Right. So the latest.
Yeah, so the latest, man. Like I would say I got around my sister, man. Like just the feeling of not caring what anything costs. Man, like living in the best place with the view of the city, driving my dream car. I want to go on vacation. I go like literally just finally getting to live. Right. Because before I never was able to do any of this. This is all new to me.
Yeah. Are you talking about more just money in general, or more time to do, you know, time so you could do something with that, you know, with the all, you know, what the benefits of having the business?
I would just say just time and experience, like just living with no limits.
Okay.
Like whatever, like if I wanted to do something, I was going to do it.
Right.
You know, but even with that being said, like I would do crazy stuff like going to a restaurant and literally just pay for everyone's food.
Right. You know, and that's something you could only dream of, you know, back in the days.
Yeah. You know, and it's crazy. One lady, she literally cried to me. She said, "Why would you do that?"
Yeah, those people don't understand.
You know, like because it's not the norm.
Right.
But for me, I felt so free, and I felt like yeah, I would love to, you know, do whatever I want for myself, but I was also sharing it with others.
Of course, yeah.
You know, my sister, she was bummed out. She was bummed out about something before, and then I called her and I said, "Hey, like, what's going on?" And she told me something about traveling and like how she didn't enjoy the last time she went on vacation. I don't do something. Do something. And I said, you know, let's leave. So we literally just left. I booked a flight to like I think Miami, Florida. Stayed in the best hotel. She didn't believe I was going to do it. Yeah. You know, just blew her mind. You know, So I would say last year I really just enjoyed just living with no limits. You know, and just sharing that with others too. So that was kind of like nice.
And I'm guessing that even made you now. It's like doing stuff like that. I feel like you have some time off, but it kind of makes you hungrier when you come back, right?
Yes, because now what I'm focused on is, okay, figure out the business. Now the goal is to have more of that, but I don't want to pay for it. You know, so What I mean by that is I want to generate more income, make more income, help more people.
Right.
Right. And then with the income that makes, put that money to work.
Right.
You know, like, so now it's all about hoarding the money and then having the money invested.
You said you were about, like, before?
Like before, I would probably pay for stuff myself. Right. But now I'm thinking smarter going into the future. Like, okay, I don't want to live that crazy. I want to be more, responsible by having the money work for itself and make money. Compound interest.
Just more. You're saying like more investments,
and
like
more investments, spread it out, diversify, and then get to a point where I'm comfortable, I'm good, and then now I'm sitting on all this capital that I bust my ass for, but that capital's now working hard on its own, and then just dishing off interest. And
I feel like that's the easier part. Like once you get to the, like obviously to a certain level, I feel like it becomes easier.
Yeah.
It's like Elon Musk, Elon Musk, well, his net worth was what, forget, but probably around 20 billion, I think it was 2020, 2021, it jumped to like over 100, you know what I mean?
Compound interest.
You're talking about just, I wish I could pull it up, but like the graph of like a millionaire, it's like, starts going down, you always gonna go down, you know what I mean? Then you start coming back up slowly. And once you reach this level, it's just up from there, man. Yeah, it gets easier. It gets easier. A lot of people say, the first million is the hardest. After that, should be easy.
Exactly.
Especially with the right amount of people. The right people, buy you, and like. This is one thing that I do remember from you. You're like a sponge, man. Like, since when are you like? I was gonna ask you that. Like, I feel like I say sponge because you just grab all this information, you soak it in, and then you just execute, right? Mm-hmm. Were you always like that?
No. That started once I started listening to Jim Rohn and consuming that information, and he started saying like. World's best kept secrets are in books. Like, you gotta get the information, you gotta get the knowledge, right? You just have a lack of information. So once I realized, damn, I just had a lack of information. So I lacked that. That's why I was in that hole. So then once I started getting information, like reading that book with Step for that, my life started to change. Yeah. So I guess subconsciously, and I'm now addicted to information because that's what's gonna help me better myself, right? So I want to know what I don't know. I want to meet people doing better than me. How did you get there? How? I'm generally curious, because they know something that I don't know.
Do you still read a lot of books?
100%.
Yeah. I feel like even though, we're in the best era for, just, getting information at our fingertips, I feel like at this point, though, there's kind of like an overload of information when it comes to social media and, all these gurus and, fake people that are just, just throwing fake information out there. So I feel like books are still, the one place, especially like older books, like the one you're talking about, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's a lot of books that I feel like the information is just very well put together, and it's like, I feel like it's still a better source than, like all this overload of information, So I'm not a big reader. I mean, I read some, but I'm not a big reader, so that's why I'm surprised to see, like, you still read books now.
You want to know something that I'm thinking about it? I've always had, like, this thing, right? Like, soccer, for example, right? Like, the people who I looked up to, Cristiano Ronaldo, like how he did the step over, right? So I wanted to do the step over like him. I also wrestled in high school, and one of the better wrestlers, like their best moves, I would see it, I would copy it, and then it became my best move. So I just started thinking about this, and then now when it comes to life, and now like you're a successful person, and I know other successful people, and I try to look for their best traits or their best qualities, like information, and then I take it and I consume it, and then I kind of put it into my toolbox.
So maybe, you know what, that is your thing, man. And I've said it actually to the people here in my office. I always said it. There's people, like, and I was gonna ask you. I just want to kind of rewind back, right? So now we went through like 21 through 30, but if we rewind back, like little Naeem, right? When you were 5, 6, 10, like, what do you remember? Do you remember do you have stories from like like your mom or your sister that like of like things that they saw in you that like they kind of see still in you now that kind of like attributes to your success? Because I feel like that's the biggest one, man.
I'm thinking about it now. I was always like, when I was around my family, I was always happy, you know, and I was always competitive also too. Like we were racing the streets.
Okay, yeah.
Like we were racing. I was always competitive. And like when I wanted to like start and play soccer, I wasn't the best on the team. All right, they would bench me, and I would get mad. And I would cry. I would cry like because I wanted to play and like I always wanted. I'm just thinking about. Yeah, I'm just thinking about my childhood in general. I remember seeing my sister and my cousins dance, and then they were good dancers, and I would mimic and try to be like dance, right? So like now people see me dancing in my YouTube videos, like I dance. I don't know, man. When I think of my childhood, I think about a lot. You know, I don't even know what to tell you. You know, I think about a lot.
Well, I'm telling you, man, because actually I don't have a name for the podcast yet, but one of them I thought about is maybe like the entrepreneur therapist, because I feel like I like to dig deep, and like even I'm telling you, with you, like it's one thing I see, man. Sometimes people are like, oh man, like, what makes this person so successful? Because this is never the same thing, you know. I have a friend, I'm not gonna say names, but I have a friend that people are like, oh man, like this guy's not even smart and this and that, and it's like, why is he so successful? And I'm like, he makes decisions. Like this guy, yo, we have to do this, do it. It's like, okay, doesn't think about it twice. And if it messes up, he doesn't care. It's like, okay, next decision, do it. Crazy idea, let's do it, right? When I was talking to you, I'm like, I tell you something, and man, like a few days later, you're executing on that. You go to like a mastermind, you come back same day, you're executing on that. And I feel like, that's what I'm saying, man, I just see some of these things relating to business, and I feel like you probably had that, like you said, like even back when you were younger, you know, like watching your sister dance, and you're learning from that. Like you take it, you soak it in, and boom, you execute, which is the part that a lot of people just lack. You know, people sometimes soak it in. You're just an executor, you know, and that's probably one of the best traits of a business owner. You know, being smart means nothing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are saying like, oh, this guy's smart. To me, like if you tell me I'm smart and I haven't done anything with it, then am I really smart? Like what is smart? You know what I'm saying? Like we're in a whole different. Being book smart, I feel like at this, you know, 2020, like 22, it doesn't mean anything, you know.
Now I'm thinking about it, like I'm far from shy. I'm not shy at all. I'm like throughout my entire childhood, I was not shy.
No?
I was not shy. I remember dancing, doing the Macarena in the middle of like a cruise ship. I was an asshole in high school, right? Like I would dance in front of like the entire, like I was always outgoing and not shy. So I'm thinking when it comes to business and being an entrepreneur, a lot of people, they're not confident with trying new things, putting themselves out there, speaking in front of people, making mistakes, and just going out there. You know?
Being judged by other people.
Yeah, like they care about the opinions of others. Me, I generally don't give a shit.
Right, and honestly, man, a lot of times that is the first step, because you gotta know when you're gonna be doing all the stuff like you're doing, you're gonna be judged. You know what I mean? And it's like, can you take that? You know, like what's stronger? Like the fear of being judged by people, or getting over the fear and you know, achieving some sort of success that you know you could do a lot with. So you have no trouble. Like you'll do anything on social media. You still just don't care what people will say.
Don't care. You know.
That's great. That's a great mindset. You know. Honestly, I'm telling you, a lot of people that want to start a business, or especially something like this, or start sharing their story on social media, you know, starting a podcast. For me, man, I bought this stuff to do a podcast 3 years ago. Man, I'm just starting now.
Oh, man.
Because that's what I'm saying. When I say people, you know, it's me. I used to, in school, I remember, they used to go, you know, around the classroom so you could, you know, I mean, I was also, like I said, I was an immigrant. I came from Peru when I was 11. Yeah. So they would call on us to read the book. and then right before they got to me, I would always go to the bathroom. I would ask to go to the bathroom because I didn't want to read. And if it was a day that there was like a presentation or something, I would not go to school. So, and that's when I was 11, man. And that carries on, you know. And that's what I'm saying, man. Sometimes you gotta dig deep and see the real reasons why you're not doing. You know, sometimes it's just like, oh no, I'm gonna do it later. Oh no, I'm gonna do it next year. I'm gonna do it when I'm ready. And like I said the other day, if you're gonna keep waiting until you're ready, you're gonna be waiting the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Yeah, man. So, is there any like other advice you give for like people that want to start a business or want to get into real estate, for that matter?
If you want to get into real estate, I would say just know what avenue you want to go, because real estate is very broad. You know, you got like people tell me I want to get into real estate. I say, okay, what part? You know, you can be a realtor, you can be a wholesaler, you can be an investor, you can be a property manager. Right? Like there's so many different ways you can get into real estate. And once you figure out what avenue you want to go, find someone who is, you know, like a master in that, you know, that topic or whichever one you choose, and then work for them for free. You know, try and get that, work for them free, and then just learn, get the information, because that's all it is. You have a lack of information, so put that time in, get the information, and then you go. And that's the same with any kind of business. Find someone who's successful in that business, work for them for free. Give value, learn everything there is to know about that business until it's time for you to go out and do it on your own.
Yeah, that's great advice, man. I mean, I wish, it's crazy, man, because I wish like you know, people like you and like came to me when I was younger. You know, I didn't really have somebody that. I mean, times have changed also with social media and stuff, but you know, when I was 18, 19, like I wish somebody told me come and do this for free. I didn't care if it was free. Now I wanted to do stuff, but I feel like there wasn't as much available as there is now.
It wasn't. I mean, I wish too. You know, I wish too. I figured this stuff out late too.
Yeah, I mean, like a mentor. Like you didn't have a mentor, like, you know, when you were 21, 23. You started seeking that once you.
On my own. I started seeking it from reading books, from flying to different states to go to conferences. And, you know, I flew to Miami to go to the 10X Growth Forum with Grant Cardone. I flew to California. That was amazing.
Yeah, man.
You know, because you meet like-minded people in this area, other people who are trying to better themselves, better their lives. You know? So I would literally fly and seek mentors. I did have one mentor, though, actually, now I'm thinking about it. When I was coaching soccer, it was funny because I quit soccer to go to the bank, Wells Fargo, because I wanted a security.
Right.
And then I went to Wells Fargo. I was miserable. Right? I was there. I didn't want to be there. I was making mistakes. But I met one guy there. His name is Matthew. And Matthew was a financial advisor. And then, you know, he needed someone to coach his soccer team. Right? He needed to hire a coach. And he found out that there was a Rebels coach.
Yeah.
So then he hired me. And then from doing that, we created a great relationship. Then we would have dinner at his house. Then he started to find out, like, you know, my situation. I was driving a hoop, I was living in an attic, but he knew I was reading books trying to better myself. And this guy, he had the wife, he had the kids, he had the house that was paid off, he had the investments. And then I'm seeing how comfortable this guy was living, you know, and then we would just have conversations, and he would talk to me, he would advise me. You know, like he showed me my first time looking at a financial statement, you know, so, and I still have it to this day, I still update it. You know, so I would say that he was like my first kind of like real mentor. And still to this day, man, you know, we just had steak the other day. You know, but here's the thing with mentors, and you're gonna need more. You know, you're gonna always need more, because now, me and him, like, it's a different conversation now. You know, so now I may have a question that I need help with that he can't give me the answers to now. So now I gotta find someone else. You get me? And that's where I'm at now. You know, but I would never forget, and I would never, you know, have anything negative to say about Matthew, man. Like I freaking love that guy, you know. And find mentors, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. It's like I said, I mean, you have all this information, all these gurus, that kind of makes it like a little unattractive sometimes now. But I definitely believe like finding mentors is a big part. Because you get to see, and you know, from people that are actually doing, you know, something that you may want to do or that you're interested in. But what about for you? Like, what's next now? Like, what's the next goal? I mean, you know, like.
Man, listen. Domination. Absolutely. See, now here's the confidence coming out, because I'm not about to be like, oh, well, this no, I'm dominating. Okay, listen, there's nothing to stop me. My team's gonna on the verge of being the best in New Jersey. We're gonna buy more property. We're gonna own crypto. We're gonna do other businesses. Man, I'm coming for it all. There's nothing stopping me.
I did hear that you wanna like diversify.
Yeah.
So is that one of the goals too moving forward? Like, obviously you want to build this empire, right?
Yes.
But when you say diversifying, like what exactly are you looking for? Like real estate, what else? I just heard you saying crypto.
I want to, so the number one business, master that, which I am doing, and that's just gonna flourish, right?
Right.
And then from there, build up my crypto portfolio, some stocks, buy more investment properties. All right, I'm up to 10 units. I want to get to a minimum 100.
Okay.
Right, so I got to build that up. I want to have other businesses. Just multiple streams of income, man. There's multiple streams of income, and that's all I'm focused on.
Let me ask you a tricky question, I guess. Like when is enough for you?
Man, listen, that's the problem. I'm never content. Which is a bad thing. Someone told me that the other day, because at my house I got my goals written down.
Right.
I got my goals written down, and it says a Lamborghini, a jet, and they say, when's enough gonna be enough? Because I got my dream car now, which is the BMW IE, right? But now I'm over it. Now I want the Lamborghini. So I guess that comes with trying to find the balance, which I think is something that's very hard to do for me, and I may need therapy for that part of my life, because I'm so focused on like just going, because I was at the bottom, so I want to be that far away from there, so I'm just keep going. So I lack sometimes relationships.
Right.
I lack sometimes being in the now and in the present. I lack sometimes being grateful. So I'm working on that. But I'm aware of that. And I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people lack that. I think I was telling you before. I mean, I feel like that was my biggest thing when I had my first business, which was I detailed, had a shop, automotive shop. And yeah, man, I was just like, chicken with no head. I was just working for the money. And at the time I had like 2 cars, and I was young too. I think I was 21, 22. And I moved out of my parents' house. I had my apartment, and it got to a point where like I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't spending time with my friends. I wasn't spending time with my family. I wasn't even doing it. I would get home and not enjoy my house. I wasn't enjoying my cars. You know what I mean? Like my friends were borrowing my cars and taking out girls with my cars. And I wasn't doing anything. But so then I switched to another business, and then I learned, from that, and then, I guess the goal, and I feel like we also keep changing, as people. Like I feel like you're not gonna want the same thing now or 10 years from now that you want now, So I feel like the key, all that to say that I feel like the key is like, I learned to really enjoy the process, right? So what I mean by that, it's like I started getting into things that like I wanted to do. So if I got, for example, like a building, I wanted to get a nice building. Not because it was nice, but because I'm going to be there every day, so I want to enjoy the building, right? If I'm going to hire people, I would only hire people that I thought I would, like, obviously I would get along with, I would could be part of the culture. I built like a better culture at my places. And if they didn't work out, I will fire them. That was a big thing for me. I learned how to fire people quick. I'm talking about first shift. I would fire, no problem, before the first shift ended. You know what I mean? So that was part of it. Enjoying the people that I work with. Obviously, in our cases, like we get to control that. So we're lucky that we can control that part of the environment. There's people that go into work, into toxic environment, they can't control that. So me, when I would step into a business, to my business, and there was a toxic environment, it's my job to fix that. You know what I mean? So who's making it toxic? Okay, you have to go. So that was part of it. Not gonna lie, it's an ongoing thing. Like you said, being in the moment, I still haven't figured that out. You know, like sometimes my dad calls me, my mom calls me, and it's like, can't even go there. And then I hang up, and you know, I'm kind of like tough on the phone, and I hang up, and I'm like, shit, you know, like, kind of hurts that I actually can't leave right now because, you know, I got some stuff to do. So I'm still figuring it out, but, you know, like enjoying the process, and since you get to dictate a lot of that, you know, your environment, it's a little easier to do, you know, because like I said, I mean, you have a team, but I guess you could choose who's on your team, you know, and like I said, you have a building, you could choose your building, you could choose what you do, you know, the more you earn, the more you could choose your, you know, your activities and just what you do for fun. So I feel like, you know, but as long as you're grateful and you gotta definitely work on that, I guess, like being just grateful for every moment, you know, because like you said, man, you wouldn't go back, right? You don't want to go back to how you were when you were 21, you know, that feeling, right? I mean, if you could do it again, I'm sure you would better, but you don't want to go back to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, like now, like
now.
where I am now, I don't want to mess it up. Nope.
Yeah, man, I feel, like I said, for all that, you know, whatever you're doing to be even worth it, it's gotta be grateful. You know what I mean? Of what you built. I mean, you gotta be proud of it.
100%.
You know.
I even put in my calendar when I wake up in the morning, gratitude. You know, just take a second to.
Gotta be like a daily reminder.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
Every day gotta be, you know, gratitude. I'm grateful, and you said something about, you know, with the family. You know, I think family. That's one thing that I'm more conscious of now. You know, just whether it's I'm just trying to just find the time, and even that's still hard. You know, with the phone call. You know, if someone in my family need anything, just by being there. Because at the end of the day, you know, family they've been with you before. You know what I mean? Like before any of it, they'll be with you at the end.
Yep.
You know, so I'm conscious of that. Because otherwise you can get lost in it.
Yeah.
You know, good friends, having good friends around me. You know, like people that are not just want to use, like general good friends around me. And like you said, in the workplace. You know, like having people that you want to spend time. Like if it's a toxic in the work environment, no. So 100%, I think all that stuff plays a major part.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. Yeah, I was very big on that. Like, and I kind of like, I didn't realize when I had my shop that like I was in control of that. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I would step into my shop and I'm like, I don't want to be here. But then I'm like, why? Why do I not want to be here? You know, it's almost like that's kind of what I talk about a lot now. Like just being self-aware and kind of like get to know and talk to yourself. You know, it's kind of like you said, therapy. Mm-hmm. That's why I wanted to name this podcast like business therapy or something like that, because I really like to dig deep and, you know, make everything better within your business and kind of like align your end goal with your business. You know, your day to day. You can't just have your day to day without knowing what your end goal is going to be.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, and your end goal. I mean, what do you think your end goal is as far as not just? I'm not talking about a number. I'm not talking about like units. I'm talking about like personally. You know what I mean? Like your end goal.
This is the first time I'm thinking about this. I'm really thinking about it. I would say
we might have to switch you over to the couch. Get on my notepad.
I would honestly say, man, and it's crazy because this used to be a dream of mine. Like, I would say I just want to have my family, man. Like, it's straight up. Like, I want to have I want everyone in my family is good. You know, like I want everyone good. And now that I'm thinking about it, like, people in my family are getting older, you know, and sometimes we don't spend that much time with each other. I used to have one of these visions of having my dream house. Right, I have my dream house, fireplace, beautiful kitchen, backyard, and it's a cookout, and then my family is just there enjoying it with me. You know, so now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, man, it's like family.
It's crazy because as entrepreneurs, I feel like we kind of get lost sometimes, and we wanna give so much to our families that we kind of use that as fuel to work.
Yeah.
But it comes with the sacrifice of not giving ourselves to our families. You know what I'm saying? And then that comes with our families kind of having a little bit of resentment towards us because it's like, what is this guy doing?
Come
You know
around.
what I mean? Yeah, like what is this guy doing? He's just working for what? Exactly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a big thing is aligning that and how exactly how you write your goals. I would say like, you know, like gratitude and this. Maybe think more about what that end goal is gonna be, and how you could work for that end goal. You know, every day, like little by little. Which is sometimes, you know, I'll give you an example, like working more towards freeing up your time. So, like you said, you want money to work for you, right? There's some things that people don't think about when they start a business. It's just money, money, money. But when money starts working for you, and you buy your time back, that's when you really have the freedom to do what you wanted to do in the first place,
Yes.
right? So if what you want to do in the first place is spend time with your family, and like you said, man, you know, it's not forever that we have our families. I feel like that's a big one, you know, like working every day, coming up with a plan that every day can free up a little bit of your time. To where, you know, a time not too far from now, you can get to do that, you know what I mean? I feel like that's a first step. And when I say it to you, man, I'm saying it to myself, you know, because that's something I gotta work on myself, you know. But yeah, man, that's a big one. So family's
Family,
a
man.
big one, yeah.
Family, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking out loud, like, because I would love to, you know, get married one day, have a kid, you know.
Oh, so you do want to get married and have a kid? No, I'm just saying, because there's people that don't. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, man, yeah. That's a whole different chapter, you know, because I have trust issues. But I mean, yeah, you know, because like it's like, what's the point of having all this success and
you can't share with
anybody, you know? So,
like I said, man, depends on your goal. You know, depends on your goal, and what you're willing to sacrifice for that goal. You know what I'm saying?
Very true, man. Very true. Deep stuff. Deep stuff to think about.
Yeah, you might need a episode 2 for this one. You know. Yeah, no, it gets deeper, but I like to get deep because I feel like these are the things that people don't talk about. You know what I mean? Like, people always want to find out how you got the money, but what's the point of the money? You're not gonna do anything to kind of fulfill yourself or fulfill others. Which, like I said, there's some people that if you're fulfilling others, you know, that was your goal to begin with, right? Like, I want to help others, and that will come though. The sacrifice in that one is yourself.
Yeah.
You know, saying, I'm not gonna have kids, I'm not gonna have a wife, and I'm gonna go home sad every day, but helping others is gonna be worth that sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? So if that was your goal from the beginning, then you go ahead and do it. You know, nobody should tell you how to live your life.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you, Naeem, stop working so hard, and then, you know, meanwhile you're helping 1,000 people. You know, who am I to say that? But as long as that's your goal,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't tell you what your goal is. I can only ask you and try to get it out of you. That's what I'm trying to get it out of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, family's one. Anything else?
I would say I want to get big. You know, I want to get big, and this is, and I don't like it because sometimes I just wish that like no one really knew me, right? And I was just behind the scenes, right? Just like business doing this thing, and like I'm just incognito, right? Like nobody kind of knows.
Laying
low. But for some reason, and I think it comes from a place of me just always being the underdog, and like literally just being in the shadows for my entire youth, you know, up until college. You know, I was always in the shadows, and now I'm just like, listen, everybody, y'all gonna see me. You're gonna know. I'm just, everybody in the world gonna know who Naeem Boucher is. Like that.
So is that thing about you getting big, right? Is that like, I mean, do you have like an actual purpose for that? Is that more just because of that chip on your shoulder that's like, I wanna, like, that's for you, that one is for you type of thing?
I would say it's both. You know, I would say it's both because I strongly feel as though like my story is inspiring. So I know that there's probably someone that's out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Who's probably in a situation of where I once was.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
You know, and they'll hear my story, they'll see my story, and they'll be like, damn, this guy came from here, and I'm here right now. Like that's someone who I can look up to. You know, that's someone I can look up to, and what is he reading? What is he saying? What is he like? And I'm just gonna give massive value to help that person get from point A to point B. Yeah. You know, so that is the real thing, because I wish that I had that.
Exactly.
You know, because and you said it earlier. We wish that we knew at the age 18, and look, we didn't have that right mentor. You know, so by me getting so goddamn big, I know that I'm gonna reach more people and help more people.
Exactly. So that's part of, you know, helping others. So.
Yeah.
It could be. There's always gonna be that selfish, you know, like little thing that's like, I want to also be big for me, you know. Like I understand that.
Oh, for me too. Hell yeah, hell yeah. I've been small for a long time. Now it's changed.
Yeah.
You know,
at the end of the day, man, when you go home, when you sleep at night, you know, you gotta be okay with yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, you know, like it's you that you see. You know? So if you're not happy with yourself, you know, you're really happy. You know what I mean?
Very true, man. Very true. For me, it was like I just want to be my best. I want to do my best and help as many people as I can. You know, and that's what it is. And like, if I know that there's a platform out there where I can continue to strive for, I'm gonna go for it. You know, so that's me.
Bro, when I was younger, the shit that I'm doing now on like a bigger scale, it's like that's what I used to do when I was younger. It's hard to believe, bro, but like I was like buying beer and cigarettes and selling it at family parties. Like who, you know what? And I'm talking about when I was 10. You know, and what 10-year-old does that? I mean, this is also in Peru. You know, so it's different. Like I could actually go to the store and buy cigarettes and beer. I used to buy firecrackers, and I used to buy them around Christmas time, New Year's, before New Year's, because like in Peru they had all these like markets, like they would just set up kind of like how they do in Halloween here, where they just set up for Halloween. Yeah. They would do it for just fireworks. They would just sell fireworks, and then after New Year's they would all disappear. So I would wait. I wouldn't light them up, and I was a kid, man. So not lighting them up, it was hard. And then after New Year's,
not lighting them up was hard.
It was hard, man, cause like you know what I mean. Like I'm like I wanted to do it so bad. I was a kid. I want to see these fireworks, but I would wait till after New Year's, and I would sell them for more, cause you couldn't find them anywhere over there. So I'm saying, like, I didn't even notice this shit, you know, like, and there's more, man. I used to make bracelets and sell them to everybody at my house. We used to have a 3-story building. It was a big family. I used to do movie nights, and I would tell everybody like, yo, and even the marketing, bro. It's like I used to do movie nights, and and it was like it's free. Like everybody's free to go in, and everybody come, and we'll put curtains. I would rent like back then it was like the VHS or whatever, the tape. And then it was like, oh shit, like, you know, Mauricio's really nice. And then when they were inside watching the movie, I'll sell them popcorn and candy. You know what I mean? Which is crazy, because that's literally the concept of a movie theater. You know, you're talking about when I was 10, this is 20 years ago, you know? And there's more, man. I would buy newspapers, and like, it was like 25 cents. I would like write the best news from the day in like a piece of paper and actually fold it, like whatever. Cut some of the pictures, and then I would sell it and tell people just buy my newspaper, because like I have the best. I have already the stories. I rewrote them, but only the best ones, only the most interesting ones. And then I would get 25 cents each. So I would get a paper for 25 cents and then get like $2 out of it, type of thing, you know.
God.
So I'm saying, man, and that's what I'm saying. For you, I could see is that like, you know, like just taking information in, soaking it up, and then just executing it. It's like such a small thing that like you don't even notice, but like somebody else sometimes I gotta come in and be like, yo, that's your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because bro, people don't have that. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have that, and that's a big one, man. That's a big one. That's more valuable than being smart. That's more valuable than having money, even. You know what I mean? Because when you do something like that, you're just you could leverage a lot. You know what I'm saying? You get to leverage a lot. Because you could literally leverage a lot just with knowledge alone, you know what I'm saying?
I would definitely say that's my thing, man. Like, and I just started thinking about that today. I'm like, damn, like, yo, wait a minute. Yeah, shit, like sometimes the way someone will walk, like even look like someone would talk, like when they would wrestle, I was just very good at just observing and then doing. You know, like.
Yo, but I've noticed that because I'm telling you, like, I see you doing something, coming back, doing it. This, that, coming back, doing it. And I'm like, that's the thing. That's the sting right there. I don't even got to see more. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, so you got to use that thing. And that's what I have for you, since it's, like, I mean, in my head, that's pretty clear. Like, you got to kind of, like, double down on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're like an executor. Like, you just told me before, you're trying to chop heads off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing that with fucking information and executing, bro. That's what it is.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy. Like, I'm thinking about right now, like, you know how Grant Cardone, bro, this is crazy. Like, wow. Albert Preciado, you know Albert Preciado, like that's, bro, like, this, damn, I'm like, damn.
Now it's all coming to you.
Yeah, it's all coming to me. Like it's just like how Grant Cardone was sometimes like just wild and say whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, that's his thing.
That's his thing.
Grant Cardone is like, you know what I mean? Like, fucking just going, energy's crazy. Like, he's not always right. Mm-hmm. Like, I see a lot of his shit, and I'm like, but you know what? That energy and him being like that, bro, that's his thing. That's his thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. No better way to end it off, I guess, like that then, man. I want to just thank you for coming. I know you're a busy guy. It's my first episode, so, you know, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
My brother, it was a pleasure.
All right, man. First episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.